With the camera invented in the late 1800s, it wouldn't be until 1902 when what was considered to be the first science fiction film was created. Titled Le Voyage dans la Lune, created by Georges Méliès, was recorded with sound-on-film technology that predates the Vitaphone sound-on-disc technology that was right around the corner. Themes of space travel, conformist societies, and individual desire were relevant themes that were showcased during this era due to the real revolutions taking place in Russia and the advancements of weapons technology coming out of World War I. During the 1930s to 1950s, we saw the rise of B-movies. Advancements in sound technology, namely the Vitaphone, led to a new wave of films that were finally able to be shown with sound attached to them. This development gave birth to a whole new way for future films to utilize scoring and dialogue instead of the title cards and exaggerated miming that was a mainstay of silent cinema. Coming after the Great Depression, audiences turned to theaters for sensational entertainment that was dramatically different from their previously often serious, existential silent films. As Turner Classic Movies detailed in the documentary 1939, Hollywood's Greatest Year, the studios were really firing on all cylinders before World War II disrupted them. The films Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, Mr. Smith Goes to Hollywood, Gunga Din, Stagecoach, Wuthering Heights, and Destry Rides Again were all produced during this era and are considered by many to remain classic must-watch films today, especially for aspiring cinematographers. The 1960s through the 1980s became known as the dawn of visual effects in cinema. Science fiction films that emerged before the 1960s were never considered highbrow art. They were made as distractions from the Great Depression and recovering from World War I. During the late 60s, however, a few science fiction films were released that made use of better special effects and were written about heavier philosophical concepts than what people were used to in science fiction films. Stanley Kubrick's 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey actually won an Oscar for Best Special Visual Effects. The success of 2001 helped the sci-fi genre to be taken more seriously, paving the way for deeper psychological films like THX 1138, Soylent Green, and Alien. The visual effects in all of these movies were critical to the development and acceptance of computer-generated imagery, CGI, as a genuine art form. Popular films that use CGI visual effects like Star Wars: A New Hope in 1977 and Star Trek: The Motion Picture 1979 were massive box office successes, but the biggest game changer was Tron, which was released in 1982. Tron pushed boundaries by using CGI to create sets, characters, and other visual effects combined with limited live-action sequences. The sci-fi movies of the 80s brought visual effects to the forefront of the general population, and they set a new trend and caused the growth of new technology to become a mainstay of modern cinema. The 1990s to present are known as the digital era. As tech improved globally and with the invention of the internet, people began to wonder about the safety of being reliant on and connected globally by all this new technology. As a result, films like Blade Runner were released, focusing on the potential effects of humans interacting with artificially intelligent man-made replicants. In the 1990s, even more sci-fi films were released that cemented the science fiction subgenre cyberpunk into mainstream media. These titles included Johnny Mnemonic 1995 and The Matrix in 1999, to name a couple of the most popular titles. They focused strongly on the integration of man and machine. In 2012, The Hunger Games was released, further doubling down on the dystopian future genre. Moving further forward in time, films like Ready Player One 2018 and Free Guy of 2021 swing the focus back towards the commingling of man and machine in a digital landscape. In summary, the science fiction genre helped comfort our nation during war and famine. It inspired directors like George Lucas to create Industrial Light and Magic and Skywalker Sound, which led to directors in other genres to make use of CGI and continues to propel modern cinema to new technological heights.